The good news is if you're taking the LSAT in August, there's going to be less material for you to study. Today, I'm going to share with you what I would personally do if I wanted to score 175 on the LSAT in August 2024 or beyond. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I personally increased my LSAT score from a 152 to a 175 on test day itself, and I've helped thousands of students do the same since 2005. Today, I'm going to share with you my laser approach to LSAT prep. This is the exact framework I use for all of my students in helping them create personalized day-by-day study plans. LASER is an acronym standing for Learning, Accuracy, Sections, Exams, and Review. This is the general step-by-step process I would personally follow to increase my LSAT score from any starting point to get the 99th percentile or higher on the official LSAT exam. So learning is the first phase. It's building that strong foundation, getting a proper understanding of each section and each question type. This could involve reading those 500-page LSAT prep phone books. It could involve watching on-demand videos. It could involve joining live small group classes via Zoom. Your choice, whichever format suits you best. Once you've spent some time there, you're going to move on to A for accuracy, the second phase of the laser approach. Accuracy is when you work on drilling questions by type to better understand the proper perspective from which to view each section and each question type. There are roughly 15 different types of logical reasoning questions. Of course, some are more common than others. You may want to drill all 15 types, or you may want to start with the most common types like necessary assumption, inference, and flaw before moving on to the less common types, including the rare ones like parallel or evaluate the argument that only show up maybe once or twice per exam at most. Once you are at a reasonable degree of accuracy when drilling by type, maybe 70 to 80% accuracy, then you move on to the third phase of the laser approach, S for sections. This is where you work on doing timed 35-minute sections, assuming no extra time, to work on your pacing so that you can finish the questions in the time allotted. Personally, I like to have a couple of minutes to spare at the end of the section. This, of course, requires moving at a pretty fast pace. Luckily, in logical reasoning, there is a pretty clear order of average difficulty, meaning the first 10 questions are a whole lot easier than the last 10 questions. So you want to aim to solve the first 10 questions in roughly 10 minutes to build up a time bank that you can then apply to the tougher questions later in the section. And here's a pro tip for you. I would personally flag 3 to 4 questions per section, meaning I'd flag them, I'd skip them, I wouldn't go deep on them because I don't want to get bogged down, and I would come back to them later at the end of the section when I already have the security of knowing that I've tackled everything else. And the hardest band of questions in logical reasoning tends to be questions 15 through 23. The last couple actually are a little bit easier, maybe because they know a lot of students won't even make it to the end of the section and they want to reward you for pacing yourself appropriately. And so when I flag 3 to 4 questions, they're going to be in that 15 to 23 band, and I have a good sense of which questions I personally don't like. So for me, I'm not a science person. I'm 100% a humanities person. So the hard science questions, the technical ones, do not speak to me. I do not like them. And so I flag those questions. If it's a really lengthy parallel reasoning question in that band, I'll flag it and skip it as well. Also, anything super abstract like moral philosophy, it's hard for me to get a handle on that language. And so I'll flag that and skip it as well. Come back to it later. Then with the security of knowing that I have completed the section, I can break out of my previous tunnel vision with a second look, a little bit of distance. I can usually hammer away at it with a couple extra minutes and turn that from a guess into getting it right. After focusing on the third phase, the S in laser for sections, I then move on to the fourth phase, which is E for exams and endurance. This is when I'm doing full-length timed practice tests, 4 sections in one sitting, 2 sections back to back, 10-minute break, 2 more sections back to back, and that's the sitting. Just like test day itself, I want to do at least 10 full-length timed practice tests before the big day so that test day itself feels like just another run-through. Now, I craft my study plans for my students using this laser approach to LSAT prep. You want to make sure that you have a plan of attack so that you're not just taking test after test to measure yourself without learning from your mistakes, without properly reviewing. And of course, you want to build that foundation first. We create personalized study plans for all of our students at LSAT Unplugged. If you'd like to find out more about joining the program, you can check out the links below the video to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And of course, finally, in the laser approach, we have R for review. I have a framework for reviewing LSAT questions called the Socratic review method. Long story short, the idea is that we want to make sure that you are getting the full value out of every practice test you take and every question that you complete. You want to make sure that you are figuring out exactly where your mistakes are coming from, where you're getting tripped up, which tricks and traps you personally are uniquely prone to falling for, so that you will not make the same mistake again. So make sure you're reviewing in depth, not just the questions you get wrong, but also the ones you have difficulty with, the ones where you guessed and got lucky, but it could have easily gone the other way. You want to go deep to make sure that you're getting those key insights from your studying so that you will improve with each test that you take. Anyway, folks, that's all for now. Hope you found the video helpful. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.